Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a free Right Voice for You taster. My name is Annie Choi, certified facilitator, Talk to the Entities facilitator, and of course, Right Voice for You facilitator. So, welcome, everybody, every being from all over the world. Thank you for being here. So, there's a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys who aren't on live. Naughty, naughty. I'm just kidding. So, there's a lot of different reasons why you probably chose this. It's either you're like, oh, right voice for you, what's that? Or something about creating a bigger life, or just something about the energy of the class. So, whatever it is that you were asking to change by being here, what if you can change it right now? So, what would that require? So, Right Voice for You is a specialty class from Access Consciousness. And Access Consciousness is a set of tools, a set of processes that actually invite you to choose greater. And it also clears everything that's in the way of that. So, those of you who are new to Access, we do use something called the clearing statement, and I'm going to be using it during this taster. So I'm going to introduce that right away, straight off the bat. That's the first tool that you can use to actually change everything. And the clearing statement is simple. You can say POC and POD, or right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nitros, boys, and beyonds. And for those of you in Brazil, I'm gonna butcher this, but acerto errado, bom e mal, pode poc, todas as nuvens, cortos, garotos e aliens. So just say that whenever something comes up. So right now, what's coming up? Whatever that ask is, bring it up. Is there something in your body that's going on? Is there a thought like, oh, you're never gonna get that? You're never good enough to get that ask. Whatever that is, bring it up and just say, okay, so everything that is, I destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine shirts, boys, and beyond. Cool. So, what would you guys like to receive from this taster? Anything? More joy. Okay. Oh, and Priscilla, thank you. More communion with yourself. Be calm while I communicate and engage with people with ease. Braver. Ease with your voice. Okay. Cool. More power, acceptance, and communion with voice and self. Right voice and as an X-Men. Let go of hesitation, consciousness of the power of your voice that you did not realize. Okay, let's start there. So, first of all, any judgments you have of your voice and your whole body and how you be in the world, appear to the world. Yes, that. And how you present yourself to the world. Will you now destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pupak, all nine shirts, bliss, and beyonds. So that's one of the keys. Jenny was talking a little bit about my story earlier. In high school, as a senior, I was voted the shyest senior. I was the girl who was the shyest senior, and then the guy who was the shyest senior was like we had to take a photo shoot together, and it was just horrible. So that was me growing up, and up until college and throughout my years working in the yes all through that, like until I actually took Right Voice for You, I kept in the back. I was quiet. I didn't share my voice. And then something shifted. And I didn't even have to try. So I took my first Right Voice for You class with Dr. David Kuvis, and it was online, just like this. And that whole weekend, I had a sore throat. And I knew something was changing, but I didn't quite know what it was. So part of this class is energetic. We're going to say a lot of words and we're going to do some clearings, but also let in that energetic part of it, that part that your mind can't even begin to cognitize, because that's the part that changes with ease. And you're like, oh, you know what? I used to have a lot of anxiety when I talk to people that I don't know. And now, oh, I can do it with ease. How does it get any better? So let that in. One of the tools, another tool that we use is lowering your barriers. So what if we could do that now? Lower your barriers and allow the class to contribute to you energetically. Cool. So anything that doesn't allow you to have your ask now and in the future, will you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. So now I don't have a lot of hesitation when I have to speak or be with people. I used to stay inside all the time and not be in crowds because I just had this huge awareness of everybody and their universes, and I didn't want to be a part of that. And being in these classes with Right Voice for You and all the other Access classes changed that. So Aiden had an ask about Right Voice as an X-Men. So X-Men are people like you and me who have capacities. They're able to perceive things that most people don't perceive. So if you're that kind of person who can walk in a room and perceive, like, there's a lot of energy going on, like you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? You might be an X-Man. So Right Voice for You really, really helped with that too. And being able to expand and use energy, like there's energy flows that we talk about, and use that to make it more ease for our bodies and what we're aware of and our engagement with other people. Cool. Yes, Priscilla is like, I choose to access my X-Men power. Yes. And my mind goes 1,000 revolutions per second and my mouth can't keep up. Okay, so how many of you have that going on? And then sometimes you just say something, but it's not coming out at the right time, and it's just like, oh, oops. Okay, here's a little tip. You can actually wipe people's minds. So this is a secret. So you just wipe, expand out, make whatever it is you said infinite, and wipe. So one of the things that you get to know as you start using these tools are the things that are true for you are light, so they make you smile. And I know there was a question there about joy too. So if I say something like I was talking about the X-Men or talking about wiping people's minds, what if you have a capacity with that? So when you smile or you laugh, there's some truth in whatever it is that I just said. So acknowledge that. That's your capacity. And even if you think it's something bad or wrong or terrible, like, staying inside, being a hermit, what if that's actually a capacity? So if it makes you smile, if it makes you smile to be a hermit, What if that's actually your capacity? So, what's right about this? What's light about this? Okay, so it's very difficult to talk to a group of people. I get so much that you want to say and can't find the words. Forget the words and it annoys me. Okay, so what if before you speak to people, you just let's do this exercise really quick. So, all of you, just lower your barriers. You could just ask it to lower, expand out, or if you need to, push it down. All the barriers that you're willing to push down right now. Okay. So, what is it or who is it that you'd like to speak to? Now, imagine just being in front of that person. So, what is it that you'd like to communicate? And ask your being in your body to be congruent with it. And then congruent with that person over there that you'd like to speak to. So, what if whatever you say, whatever words come out, because there's like so much thoughts and you're like already 5 miles ahead and you're just trying to speak from here, what if it's okay, whatever you say? Okay, cool. So, anything that doesn't allow you to be okay with that, you're just trying to create it. And all the judgments and past juniors, projections, expectations, refined judgments. I forgot the rest, but they're basically judgments and projections and expectations. All of that you have on how your words are supposed to be understood and communicated, will you just try and create that? Right, wrong, about Papak, online church, boys and beyonds. Okay, so the way we communicate, first and foremost, is energetic. So for me, this is really fun because um, I'm quiet. I'm a quiet individual by nature. So if I'm energetically congruent with what I'm trying to say, I could whisper something from one side of the room and then the person on the other side could get it instantaneously. Sometimes I don't even have to speak and then they tell me what I'm trying to tell them. So, how many of you do that already? Anyone? I see some smiles, so that might be a capacity. So, anything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge that capacity, will you just try and upgrade it? Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine tricks, boys and means. There's some laugh emojis too. So, Susie is saying, me too, I prefer silence. So, what if silence is a capacity? And I'm a little bit ADHD right now because we were in the middle of a exercise and now we're talking about silence as a capacity. Okay, so let's double back to that. Lowering your barriers and being congruent with whatever it is that you'd like to say or speak energetically. Cool. So from this space, go ahead and speak. And now ask yourself to also be energetically congruent to what that person can hear. Okay, so does your body have more ease? And now, what if you can expand this instead of just one person? How many people can you do this and be this all at once? Two, three, 4, 5, 10, 40, 100? Okay, so anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. So I feel like when I am in person, it's easy to talk and expose my ideas, but when I am doing a live in Instagram, it's hard to express my ideas. Okay, so when you're online, most of the time you're not energetically aware of like all those people. They're just like a group. There's it's like there. So what if you start asking before you do the live, before you do um, the Instagram or Facebook live, whatever it is that you're doing, before you do that, ask this. Ask to be energetically congruent with everybody who's going to see that live now and in the future, and to be congruent with what they can hear. Cool. And then when your body relaxes, then that's when you know that, oh, okay, I'm connected. Cool. Okay, so let's return to that silence. Derek said, silence as a big space. So, how much fun can we have with silence? Is silence fun? Have some nods. Okay. So, okay. Let's be silent for a moment. How much can you communicate in silence? Cool. So, you can actually communicate a lot in silence through silence. It's actually a really, really fun exercise that you can do. Just create like a 10-second silent video. Yeah. How much people can you pull through your video? So, Priscilla said, I also like silence. Sometimes I prefer it. I have fun with silence, but most people are so fucking loud and noisy. It drives me crazy. Me too. So, when that occurs, there's a couple of questions that I like to ask. It's first, has my awareness exceeded my allowance? Or do I require to expand my allowance? So just ask that. And anything that doesn't allow your allowance um, to expand beyond your awareness, and your awareness to continually expand, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, POFAC, online shirts, boys and beyonds, all the time, every time. Okay. And then the other thing is, what is your body aware of? Or what are you aware of? Sometimes when we are annoyed with something, there's an awareness there that we're not acknowledging. And then once we actually acknowledge it, it either dissipates or you have an awareness of something that you can actually do, be, or change. Cool. So we have a question from Lynn. What do you do when you don't want to speak to people as they talk about a problem in this reality? I'd rather not to talk to them at all. I feel rude. Okay. So first first off, everywhere you've been taught in this reality not to be rude and to listen to everybody and all of that. Be a good girl. Be a great conversationalist. Listen, have empathy. Will you just try and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine shirts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so what are some lines that you can say? What is a way that you can gently manipulate yourself out of that conversation? So, manipulation isn't bad. That's the other part of this class. It's actually teaching you how to manipulate for the greater. So, manipulate isn't to get what you want, it's actually so that you can have the other person choose greater. And sometimes you even have to manipulate yourself to choose greater. So, there's some simple lines that you can say, like, oh, I really have to go now. I'm late. I have to pick my whoever it is. If you have kids, use them. They're a great excuse for everything. That's a joke and also very true. So, another thing that you can do is actually those people who are talking to you, they're drawn to you for some reason. So you can ask, okay, does this person require something from me? Okay, if it's late, then okay, can I actually deliver what this person requires? Is it energetic? Do I have to give them something verbally, physically? What is it? Okay, and if it's just an energy, go ahead and give them that energy. Flow whatever energy, be whatever energy they require. And oftentimes they'll just stop talking and be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I'll see you later. So, how does it get any better? Is there anything else about that? Or okay. So, I just access the consciousness. Sometimes I feel the need to speak. I feel like I need to be heard, but when I am in silence, is when I can hear me. I mean, I don't need to prove anything to the world. I can just choose to be me with me. Okay, cool. So, what if you be that? Whatever you are being in silence, can you start being that a little bit more each day in the world? Like if you're going to work or school or even just the grocery store or bank or wherever it is that you go throughout the day, what if you start being that more and more and choosing to be that? So it might be, you have to sit in silence and tap into who you truly be. And then you step out and then it's gone in, you know, 30 seconds. Okay, so next time, what if that's a whole minute? And what if it keeps expanding and expanding and expanding? And someday you're already being you and you haven't realized it. So every time you actually be you in the world, can you acknowledge that? Yeah. Every time you're not reacting and resisting and you're just being you in the world, can you acknowledge that and be more of that? Choose more of that. Anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine shirts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so Rabia has a question. Also, you guys can unmute and just ask a question directly. You can even butt in. You can be rude. I won't get angry. So, Rabia's question, I tend to shrink in a room full of people and find myself having trouble introducing myself confidently. The thought that plays is, what if they don't like me? Okay, so we actually had a huge conversation about this, how being liked is more important than being you and seeing the gift that you be. So let's try this. Now imagine everybody in the whole world never ever liking you ever again for all of eternity. So bring up all of that wonderful energy. Imagine everybody in the whole world never ever liking you ever again. So everything that brings up or lets down, will you just try and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so now
Annie, actually, when
imagine.
you said, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi,
Go
Annie.
ahead.
Nivedita here from India.
Hi.
Hi.
So,
Actually, when you said if, the moment you said, imagine everybody in the world hates you or nobody likes you,
mhm.
it was actually freeing. It actually opened up my space like crazy. I was like, wow, I don't
Cool.
need to prove anything to anybody. And that's when I realized I've been trying to prove something all through. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So acknowledge that. So what is that space that opened up? Yeah.
I can be me.
Cool. Can
I
you
can be anything.
expand?
I just, oh my God.
Cool.
It was like whoop, like from one dot, I just became the universe in one instant.
How does it get any better? I got goosebumps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, now I'm thanking me to be me. Wow.
Yes. Cool. So, Christina has a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like when I talk, people feel like I can be very pushy. And how can I change that?
Okay. So, how can you change that? What comes up? That. So, was there a time in your life when someone told you were too pushy, or why do you always get what you want? Something
Oh,
along this.
or maybe because I had to push to be heard.
Okay. So, was there a time where you weren't being heard?
Uh-huh. Like being ignored.
Okay. So, did this happen when you were younger?
Actually, after I got married.
When you came to, could you repeat that, please?
So actually, after I got married,
Okay.
like yeah,
Oh
it's
no.
like in the Chinese families, female voice has no value.
Yes, that's the picture that came to me. It was like, are you being like the perfect Asian wife? And then, are you also a mom?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to be quiet to be the perfect Asian wife, and then loud to be heard by your kids.
Yeah, and also be shut down when I talk to my son because my husband would think that he projects himself in our son, therefore I cannot talk to my son.
Yes, there was a class that I went to where Dane was kind of saying that the firstborn child, the firstborn son of Asian families are like the holy and anointed ones. So they can't be wrong for anything. So you can't really yell at them or So is that something that you've experienced? I'm just I'm just wondering because anytime there's you don't have to listen to anything I say. Whatever's true is light, whatever's heavy, there's a lie in it. So I might say a whole bunch of bullshit and you can just say, fuck you, Annie, that's not true. Or you can be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, that's the kind of yeah. Okay, cool. So um would you like to change that? We can.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, so first, there's all those um, Asian culture and ancestors and what you're supposed to be and follow. So everything that brings up regarding the culture and ancestors, will you just join and create that?
Yes.
Especially the things that push you inward and not be who you truly be.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that is right, wrong, good, bad, apocalypse, nature's boys and beyonds. And everywhere that you've used the power of ignoring to ignore yourself and ignore others or have others ignore you, will you destroy and uncreate that and
Yes.
allow a different choice? Right, wrong, good, bad, apocalypse, nature's boys and beyonds. Okay, so when you're doing anything from resistance or reaction, you're not in choice.
Mm-hmm.
But you can totally, totally use ignoring to your advantage. So, one of the things that I've been playing with is actually ignoring what doesn't work for me, but still acknowledging it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the key because I'm not ignoring from resistance or reaction. I'm actually acknowledging, oh, yeah, that's happening. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to buy into that. I'm going to put my energy here. Okay, so who are the people who do hear you? And how is your energy when you're around them?
Yeah, softer.
Yes. Okay. So is that actually more relaxed for your body?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tap into that energy. What if you choose to be that space?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So be that space. And what does your sun require? I'm just picking your sun, but you can choose any person in your life or who you're speaking to. So, what energy do they require? If you're being that soft and quiet, can they receive it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, you could just be that. And then also, there's in the longer classes, we actually do exercises on energy pulse. So you can actually determine what energy pull they require. So there's 4 different pulls. There's flowing energy, pulling energy, filling someone up with energy, and then flowing energy through them. And it's all based on, whether a person is a pusher, energy puller, um, also called a vampire, energetic vampire. So those are the
Mm-hmm.
people where you're like so tired after speaking with them. Um, and then there's 4 different types. Um, Sorry, I'm like looking at the chat. Yeah, I would like to learn these pulls. Foundation didn't go in deep when I learned. Yes, it's so useful to actually use them in the real world. And yes, that energy vampires. Okay, so what if you start practicing being that energy, that soft energy that you truly be when you're with your son, and then see what occurs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then another great manipulation that I use with kids is that, oh my gosh, I'm such a terrible mom. Can you ever forgive me? And then they'll be like, oh, you're not terrible. I love you, mommy. Or if they're older, Mom, you're not that bad. You're okay. So, is there anything else, Christina,
Uh,
or your?
yes, thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, um, does anybody else? What were we speaking of before? I forgot. Oh, hi, Rabia. Go ahead, unmute.
Hi, thank you. Annie, I've realized that, when we talk to someone or when we are having a conversation, whether it is in a workplace or in personal relationships, um, the value of what we are saying is not received, and I feel that whatever I'm saying is not being valued um, enough. But when it comes from someone else and the same thing, it probably would have, it has more weightage. People tend to accept it more readily. And that kind of puts me in a zone to say, did I not say it right? Did I not choose the right words? Did I not, all of those questions that kind of come up. What is that? And how can I just talk and pot it?
Change it. Okay, so there's a different um, culture in corporation and the workplace and things like that. And one of the things that came up was that what would occur if you didn't have a point of view where the idea came from? So, is there a point of view that, if I said it, then people should listen to it? And if another person introduced the same idea, like, oh, that was my idea first? Or am I totally off
No,
the mark
no.
here?
No, so it's more like, if I'm saying something and and someone else says the same thing at after I've said it,
Mhm.
my words probably do not reach people, or
Okay.
I just feel that it's not reaching them, or they're not getting the point, or whatever it is. And now, but the other person, when they say it, the same words, it's kind of accepted more readily, and that kind of makes
Okay.
me think, did I not choose the right words? Did I, what is it that I did wrong, that
Okay.
I was unable to communicate what I am trying to say or tell, you know.
All right. So first off, let's destroy and uncreate everywhere you've made yourself wrong for not being understood or heard. So, or valued. So everything that brings up or lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all natures, boys and beyonds. Okay, so what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you be to actually value the gift that you be? The gift that your communication bees, and the gift of your presence. So, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all natures, boys and beyonds. Okay, cool. And this keeps popping up, so I'll just do a random clearing for everybody. Oh, hi, Victoria. Just saw you popped up. Um, so, everywhere I've made it relevant that ideas have to come from me instead of anywhere else, will I destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all natures, boys and beyonds. Everywhere I made it relevant that I get, I can't even think of the word right now, that I get the, what's the word I'm thinking of? Recognition, but that's not, yeah, I get the recognition for that idea, will I destroy and I'll create it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all natures, boys and beyonds. Okay, cool. So, what would you have to do or be to have your ideas be heard? So, what energy are you unwilling to be? So you were speaking of other people. Are they being a different energy when they say the same thing?
And it depends on what the conversations be. It, at times they are kind of just sharing it like in a friendly manner, and at times they just kind of approach it with as a matter of fact. It just depends on the conversations. But I've noticed it as a pattern. The different energies involved in how that is, and it could be the same energy or similar space from cognitive space, if I have to look at it, to say they're coming from the same space,
Okay.
but it could be a different energy, yeah, in different
Okay, cool.
situations. Yes,
So anything that doesn't allow you to be that space and that energy, well, you just try and uncreate it.
yes, yes, yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POPOC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. And then you can also do a little bit of an energy pull before you speak to that person. So just pull their energy, make sure that you're connected with them, and then say whatever it is that you're saying. Okay, so you
Yeah,
can try that out for now.
yeah, I've been experimenting with the energy pulse, but just because I can't seem to wrap my head around it, I just go like, I'm gonna be the energy, whatever energy that the group requires.
Yeah, it does take a practice. So that's the gift of the right voice for you classes. You actually practice the tools, and you get to practice with each other. If it's in a live class, you can actually practice face to face. There's a lot of different exercises. Like we would give a person a lie and another person a truth, and then they have to tell a story. And then people try to see who's telling the lie, who's telling the truth. Practicing the energy pulls while you're talking, promoting, singing, painting, taking a picture, and things like that. So there's a lot of hands on actual exercises.
I'm excited.
So.
I'm gonna begin.
Okay, cool. So, Taryn, go ahead.
Hey, so I'm thinking about so I've taken right voice a couple of times way back in the day. And like one of the things I'm thinking of, I basically saw the email and I was like, I'm not doing anything tonight. You know what? Why not come here? So like the thing I'm thinking about is I seem to struggle a lot with social media and like not even lives, just like posts and like putting stuff up on social media. And I'm like wondering what tools can I use? What can I do to change my struggles with social media or like
Okay.
my discomfort with it? Because like it's not
So,
like that when I'm with people. Like I'm totally happy to talk to people. I'm totally happy to get on stage. Like that's not a thing that's hard for me.
okay, cool. So, is it for your personal
Yeah.
social
And my
media? Okay.
business.
Okay. Okay, so first off, um, let's start with your business. So, does your business want to be on social media?
Truth.
Yes, no, yes, no.
Really? No.
Okay. All right, so everything that brought up or let down, all the projections, expectation, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right,
Yes.
wrong, good, bad. That was so light. Right, wrong, good, bad, papacal, nitrous, boys, and beyonds.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So now, how can you invite your business to work with you? Now that we destroyed and uncreated it, you can ask again. Will your business be willing to be on social media now?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That was
Okay,
like
cool.
a total 180.
Yeah, so it could be just asking questions like that. And then now you can work with your business. And if you've taken, I also do talk to the entities. That's another pitch out there, where you actually speak with the business and ask, work with it. For me, I don't do social media posts like regularly. I just post whenever it pops. Um, so for your personal, um, what is it about the post that's difficult?
I think really like I don't have a personal Instagram. I turned my personal Instagram into the business Instagram, and it doesn't really have very many posts on it. Um, but in terms of like my personal Facebook, like basically I don't really post a lot, and I feel like because I don't post a lot, people don't see it. But like when I
Okay.
do post, like some people will be like, "Oh, that's really insightful," or like I'll get a couple likes, but that besides that, like nothing else will show up.
Okay, so I just have a quick comment about your private turning into business Instagram. So hopefully that will change or start to change now because of the projections that we cleared. Okay, so and anything that doesn't allow it to change, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, are you a control freak? That was like
Just a little bit. Isn't
okay.
everyone?
All right, so all you control freaks out there, everything that brings up or lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all
Yeah.
nine, boys and beyonds. And what if you can be out of control with your business? And everything that brings up or lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it? And what
Yeah.
if you can be out of control, uncontrollable with the voice of your business?
Yes.
Okay, so everything that brings up or lets down, right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine, boys and beyonds. Oh my gosh, I had an accent. Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine, boys and beyonds. Mm,
Lots of energy.
cool. Yeah,
Thank
so
you for that.
yeah. Um the personal one might be a little bit, there might be a lot more energy there, but I think with all of the things that we cleared with the business and being more uncontrollable and out of control, that might change a little bit, maybe a little bit, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm working on the being out of control thing. Like I know that I I talk to people about it, and like I know that like I'm so magical that like being in control is a bad idea for me because it like destroys everything. Although like
Okay.
I can't always mentally get out like get out of control.
Okay. So do you control things and then when you can't control it, you control it to destroy it?
Yep.
Okay, so everything that brings up or lets down, will you just try and uncreate it, please?
Oh, yes.
Right,
Oh,
wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine, shirts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so
oh.
what if you can control things into creation?
Oof. And all the O spouse swearing fields these commitments and contracts I made throughout the multiverse and eternity, and or like convinced other people not to, yeah, everything that is
Yes.
destroy and uncreate it times a gazillion.
Right, wrong, good, bad, papak, all nine, shirts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so there's a lot there that you can
Yes, I
get.
will play with it. Thank you for that. That was really great.
Cool. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for being on here. I just do want to invite everybody to some classes that we have coming up. And just go to anniechoi.com and then you'll find all of the information there. We have a couple of Right Voice for You coming up, 1 day classes, and a 3-day master class, and that's the one where you get the whole manual. And then I also have a relationship done different. Parents and kids. I'm super excited about that. That's coming up next week. And then a relationship done different masterclass. So that also comes with a manual. So Priscilla is asking more about the 1 day class. So the 1 day class, typically there's a theme. So it could be Outshine Your Shy, or for the one that we're doing in Austin, it's called Unhiding Your Magic. And it's actually live and online, so you can also be online. And we can do we can do an exercise and then have you do exercises while on lunch break. So you can do things like energy pulls and my favorite one, you can actually try this too. Try to get someone to say no to you. So ask, like, hey, can I listen? Can I use your phone for a little bit? Or, hey, can you listen to this music with me? Try to get them to say no. So that's a fun one. So it's like a bars class. You get a morning session and then lunch and then afternoon session. And then the 3 day master class is a longer 3 days, of course, with the manual. And we get to do exercises, do all the energy pulls, and we'll go through the whole manual. And there's a lot of content. So it's really amazing. And of course, you get all the changes energetically too. So that's it. We have a lot coming up soon. And thanks for being here. I hope it was a contribution to all of you guys. How does it get any better?
Thank you, Annie.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.